Hi, I'm Dr. Erin here from the Lacey office, and today I want to show you guys how to kinesio tape for 5 common running issues. These running issues include IT band syndrome, a patella tendonitis, shin splints, calf pain or Achilles tendonitis, and plantar fasciitis. To start off, I want to give you guys a couple of tips on how to tape to get better results. The first thing you want to do is always start off with dry, clean skin. So no lotions or anything oily on the skin because that'll prevent the tape from sticking. You also want to try to not touch the adhesive part of the tape because that will also prevent the tape from sticking very well. If you're going to tape for an event or like a race, you want to tape at least 1 hour prior to your event so that make sure that the tape has adhered to your skin. And then if you have any itchiness or irritation from the tape, you want to take it off right away because that can show that you have a reaction to the tape itself. So typically people with like issues with Band-Aids will have reactions to the tape. And then finally, to take the tape off, you want to get it nice and saturated with usually like warm water or hot water. So taking a nice hot shower or a bath will help pull that tape off. Also, people frequently ask me if they can wear the tape to take a shower or go swimming. You absolutely can. Just remember that the longer you're in the water, the more likely it is to come off. Okay, so the first thing we're going to tape for is IT band or iliotibial band syndrome. Typically, the patient has pain usually at the outside of the knee or the outside of the hip, and then all along the outside of the leg will be pretty darn tender. People who have pain are runners who usually like do a lot of hill work or go up and down stairs. So to do this tape, what you want to do is make sure the tape is shorter than the length that you're going for because you're going to put a stretch to it. You're going to like score the side and then kind of rip it open like this. Remember, try not to touch the adhesive. You're going to lay that down right on the outside. We're going to give it about a little bit of stretch. So usually we say 25 to 50% stretch and then lay it down. Now this is the fat tape. It's about 4 inches wide. If you don't have this, you can always use the two 2-inch tapes, okay? The next thing we're going to tape is for patella tendonitis, also commonly called jumper's knee. It's typically pain right under the kneecap. And if left untreated, in adolescence, you're going to get that Achilles or that big old lump at the bottom of the knee, okay? So you're going to need one larger piece of tape for this. Again, you're going to kind of like score it in the middle and break it off. We're going to just kind of lightly kind of tap it on. And then what we're going to do next is taking the backing off the tape. We're going to bring it right around. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. We're just going to kind of wrap that around. You're going to take your second piece of tape, a little bit smaller. Again, we're going to break it in the center. And we're going to plant this right down here. And again, this is for patella tendonitis or a jumper's knee, which typically causes knee pain right down here at the bottom of the kneecap. And usually people will have pain with squatting as well too. Okay, so next we're taping for shin splints, which is typically pain along the shin, either on the outside or inside. Pretty much every runner's had shin splints at some point in their life, and it's typically caused by being not conditioned before your season. So to tape with for shin splints, what we're going to do first is kind of break off that little end. Again, trying not to touch the adhesive. You're going to place the tape right at the top of the shin. You're going to give it a little bit of pull and then lay it down flat. So I'm going to tape for Achilles tendonitis or calf pain. This is another really easy tape job. All you're going to do is make sure that the foot is dorsiflexed or bringing that toes towards the head. We're going to take that tape again, break it off, and you're going to place it down on the heel. We're going to bring that tape up so it covers the Achilles tendon and gives it some support. And then we're going to bring that tape all the way through. You can put the tape more towards one side, especially if the calf pain is more towards like the inside or outside. We're going to use a second piece of tape. We call this a stirrup. Basically, it's just locking that first piece of tape in to make sure that it doesn't roll up. Because when you got socks and shoes, it tends to cause that tape to move. Okay, the last thing we're going to tape for today is plantar fasciitis, which is typically pain on the bottom of the foot or right in the heel right here. Usually people have pain worse first thing in the morning, those first couple steps. So what we did with the tape is you're going to cut 3 slices into the tape, leaving about 1 inch to 2 inches worth of tape that's not cut. You're going to break that tape right where all those little fingers are, and we're going to place that right at the bottom of the heel. So it looks like that. Then with very little tension, you're just going to pull that tape all the way to the toes. You're going to take another piece of tape. You're going to break it in the center again. And then you're just going to put it over those fingers. And that's really just to keep those fingers down because they have the tendency to kind of fly up. You can also add that stirrup that we did in the last video as well too. So if you guys have any questions about kinesio taping, please feel free to stop by any of the offices. All of our providers do kinesio tape and would love to help you out. And thank you for watching.